All right, welcome to our first midweek Okcoin Live. I'm Samuel McCullough, and I'm joined by my co-host Alex. He's looking great today. Oh wait, Alex, is it me or I can't hear you? Hold on a second. Ellie and John, are you guys there, or is it just
Yeah.
myself? Okay,
Yeah, we're
so we're getting some technical difficulties from Alex. He's working on his mic, but we've got some great guests today. This is actually something that we were talking about. Alex and I were talking about last week, and now today we have Ellie and John from Lunar Crush. After doing our Twitter Spaces last week, we got you on for Okcoin Live to kind of go over the platform and talk about the launch of the Lunar token. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Quite the week.
Yeah. So John, you and I chatted on Twitter Spaces last week, but Ellie, you're new to our conversation. So why don't we start with you, and you can introduce yourself, and then we can do a little roundtable with
Yeah,
John.
absolutely. I'm definitely glad to be here with you guys. I am one of the software developers at Lunar Crush, so I've been working on the project for the past few months. Definitely been an exciting past week or so with the launch and everything, and so glad to be here with John and on behalf of Lunar Crush to talk about everything that we've been building and everything that is to come.
Good. I think Alex is back. Alex, you want to say hello?
Well, sorry about that, guys. Clearly technical difficulties, clearly a user error, but I'm so happy to be with you. And man, I just interrupted that flow. So Ellie and John, why don't you guys continue, and I'll get my chance to ask you guys questions in a little bit.
Right. So John, well, thank you for coming back. We had a great Twitter Spaces last week. It was great to have you on with Joe. I really enjoyed it, actually. I learned a lot about Lunar Crush, and now today we actually get to see the platform and everything that you guys built, and just I'm super excited about this because I actually was in a different spaces the other day, and people were talking about how they were finding their cryptocurrencies or finding new assets to invest into. And I just brought up, I was like, hey, go check out Lunar Crush. And like all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 people in the channel were like, wow, this is great. This is my new favorite platform. And that kind of led into, I kind of casually dropped in that Okcoin is the only place to buy and sell the Lunar token, which we just listed last week. We actually have a promo right now where if you come and you buy, you buy $30 of Lunar and you get 50. Is that it, Alex?
Buy 30 of Lunar and get 50. I mean, it's
guys,
incredible.
It's incredible.
Free money for new users. Wow. Free money. Buy 30, get 50.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna buy? Ellie, John, you guys should come by.
I know. Now that you're mentioning it, gotta do it.
I mean, $50 for free.
I know, but
50 Lunar for free.
50 Lunar. We were actually talking about this a little bit before, but there's a DEX that Lunar Crush is on, but from an exchange perspective, you can come bring USD, Brazilian real, whatever you like, and just quickly buy it. And look, we're the only exchange in the world that currently has Lunar from a centralized perspective, the only central exchange. And again, you're really not going to get a better deal than this just to get you up and going and into the platform. And you actually need Lunar to use Lunar Crush. And look, I'm the head of listings here at Okcoin. I use Lunar Crush all the time. This is a way for me to understand the dynamics of the market, for me to understand what the consumers and customers are thinking, where the social sentiment is, how to see traction of different tokens, how to see traction over time of different tokens, which is very important. So I live and die in a platform. And, for anyone that's interested in the space and anyone that's interested in really understanding how to manage their funds, I would highly, highly recommend Lunar Crush. And again, an easy way to get started is with us. And maybe that's a question for everyone here, Sam and Ellie and John. Do you guys find, Sam, from your conversations, or Ellie and John, that people come to you and say, hey, look, my eyes have been opened and I can look at the space with a completely different perspective now that I've used the platform?
So Alex, you said a few things. You said I use all the time. And, you know, and I think you also said the word frequently in there. And I said, and I would say, like, you know, to that, it's not like, you can't look at anything on a Tuesday at 9 a.m. and say, yep, I figured it all out. You know, like, great, now I'm fully educated at crypto because I went to a website that one day and learned that one thing. It's really like looking at everything over time and painting a picture of not only understanding, but what makes the most sense for you from a personal standpoint. So, you know, there are people, for example, that literally were introduced to crypto through meme tokens, and they only invest in meme tokens, right? And there's other people that are Bitcoin only. And there are other people that are looking for the next layer one and DeFi only, or like there's these different kind of groups. And so we recognize that. And then so what we wanted to do was we wanted to build something that was built around personalization and making you want to come back all the time to paint that picture versus saying, like, you know, what's that one magic metric? There's a lot of magic metrics and they vary per coin, and you need to look at them over time to really, again, paint that picture and understand, like, who's talking about them, how often are they talking about them, is there a lot of engagement around this on this coin? Is social activity decreasing or is it accelerating? I think on the Twitter space last week, we were talking about, you asked, like, well, what are some of the bigger things you've seen? And I think I saw Chainlink 2 years ago, saw Dogecoin January 1st. Dogecoin was like the most bullish social signal we've ever seen on January 1. Saw Solana back at $10. Saw Cardano a year ago, all because of social. And it wasn't because we went there one day to Lunar Crush and said, yep, it's looking pretty good, we're done. It was seeing it continue and seeing it continue and again and again and again. And, you know, seeing like Avalanche is another good example. Saw Avalanche activity just continue to accelerate. Why isn't price moving up? More and more people are talking about this. What's going on? And then look what happened. So I think it's really just, you know, over time painting this picture and looking at many, many different things to understand. I mean, from your standpoint, it's like, you know, it's more like, who do I list? Who's got the most growing communities? And that interests you probably because you're like, well, wait, if they have a huge growing community, there's more likely to be trading volume. There's more likely to maybe even be existing wallets out there with holders. Why would you list something that has a dying community and no roadmap, and, you know, it's sketchy at best? You know, so I think there's lots of things to look at to, again, from your side, paint a picture of what's good in crypto and what's worthwhile. So that's really what we're after.
Yeah, I will say that, like, there's so much information on Lunar Crush that it can be a little bit difficult to navigate sometimes. So that's actually why we wanted to have both of you, Ellie and John, on today, so you could give us a walk through the platform and maybe give Alex and me some tips on how to use it, and also for our viewers at home. So maybe we can just dive into the platform and how to use it, and kind of like what are the best, I guess we can take a look at some of the assets there that we have on Okcoin and that are performing well today, and just see how they're ranked inside of Lunar Crush today.
Sure, happy to. Let me pull the site up here. And I hope you can all see that, because now I can't see you.
All right, we're gonna switch over to side view.
Let me know when it's all showing there.
Yeah,
Yep,
no, we're good to go.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm kind of blind on it now. So, you know, I'm logged in as a user, and the first thing that I met with is there's trending news up here, and there's also my feed. And so both of these right now haven't done much activity at all on this account. It's a brand new account that we just used for our own internal purposes. But over time, this information is designed to be custom tailored to you more and more around what your holdings are and what you're interacting with. And so if you think about this, you know, if you start looking at, you know, if I'm looking at Ethereum only, my feed tends to be much more Ethereum focused. Not only, but it tends to be much more relevant to me because this is my own dashboard. If I want to access the entire market, I can just go to this explore section and I can access everything that's going on out there, and I can see everything happening. But on this dashboard, you know, a user comes in, there's a whole host of onboarding tasks and things like that. We could talk about the token in a moment and how it relates to all of this. But user comes in and they set their portfolio. They set their coins, their holdings. They can click into that, and it gives them kind of some historical performance around how they've done over time with the coins that they've got. They can also see their allocations and understand that stuff. Where is their money? And they can see the social metrics around their holdings. And I'd say that's a pretty general direction of where we're going with the portfolio. There are so many features ahead that we're going to be implementing, and we'd say that it's your first and you've got portfolios all over the place. This is going to be your first socially driven portfolio that's going to give you a better understanding of what it is that you're looking at and what you're holding. So we want to give more insights there. We also have a coin of the day that comes up every day, and this is based on some of our metrics, our combined social and market metrics. One is Galaxy Score and the other is alt rank. So whichever coin had the best data over the last little while gets the designation of coin of the day. We have no intervention with this whatsoever. It's all programmatic and just happens on its own. We get asked all the time, can my coin be coin of the day? No, we have no say over it. And you'll notice that all over the site, there's these, you can like hover over any of these things, you get a share icon. This has a share icon. If I share coin of the day, and it automatically creates these posts. And this is for Twitter or for an Instagram story or for like an Instagram post. You can just kind of share these out. And as a user shares these out, they're starting to earn points. And so those points, I'll explain more later, but you see this account has 2,246 points because it's done a lot. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. There's favorites. So as I go through the site, I can favorite different coins. And so this happens to be my favorites that are in my account. You can see your global metrics.
I have a question about the coin of the day, actually. Sure. Have you guys done any like back testing to see how coins perform after being coin of the day? Like, is it a good sign that something's a coin of the day? Like, does it usually perform on average better than or just does it perform well after hitting this spot?
So I love that question, and we've been asked that a lot. And not only that, not only has that happened, we've seen dozens of other individuals do that on their own and tweet it out pretty regularly. Like they say, well, what's the trailing 7-day performance of the last 7 coins of the day? And I'd say on average, destroys the market, does really well, but it definitely depends, right? Because there are markets that, like a few weeks ago, it was almost a Bitcoin only market, right? Everything was getting destroyed relative to Bitcoin. And if Aave was coin of the day during that period of time, it would have underperformed. So I'd say there's kind of like a macro thing to look at, like where are we in the market? But yes, and to answer your question, yes, in general, the coin of the day outperforms. And I think a lot of that has to do with its looking at combined metrics. It's not saying like how many people are talking about Aave or how engaged are the posts. It's looking at that, but it's also combining market performance across both the whole market as well as relative to itself. So Galaxy Score looks at combined activity just against Aave over time, and AltRank looks at Aave relative to the entire market from a social and a market perspective. So nice. We take both of those together, and then that's why it's coin of the day. So yeah, I think that's why it does well.
I think you told me on the Twitter Spaces that it's not just being the coin of the day; it's being like high up on the Galaxy Score and the alt rank for like multiple days, or multiple times over a longer time period, right?
Yeah, if something does well one day, it's not going to end up here. It's more of like consistently, like this is looking pretty good. So yeah, but.
Yeah, I can definitely say that even, in the last few months building all this stuff out, there's been coins that, some of them that become coin of the day, maybe a little bit more obscure. And I've definitely seen in own personal, usage of it that these coins are now like some of the top ones being traded. So it is something that once it gets to this point is a very useful metric to be able to look at.
So another thing, I mean, you might just be looking at the dashboard here and there's a lot of sections on the page, but if you just think of personalization, this is super, super key to us, especially we have a mobile app as well that we're just launching. And so on both iOS and Android. And so this whole thing with personalization and bringing me what what I care about in crypto right away without doing anything is really key to where we're going. And I'd say like the site will learn and become more and more familiar with you. And along those lines, you can set up alerts for all of the coins you care about, even social alerts as well. And we're going to actually even start surfacing some of those to the user, like passively. Like, so they might not be asking for an alert, but it might be like, hey, you just favorited Ethereum. Did you know that it just broke out to an all-time high? Giving people information that matters to them is really key to what we're doing. And then I think beyond that, on this dashboard, you've got really the entire market. So these are global metrics, and they show really what's happening across all coins, across the entire market. And so it's interesting, like, 4.62 billion social engagements. When we launched a couple years ago, that was like 300,000.
Wow.
So social volume, 2 million, we've collected as high as 2.5 million a day. That used to be like 100 to 200,000 a couple years ago. So kind of interesting, like if you just look at that alone, you can say like either people are just literally like it's the same people posting constantly, or there's a whole lot more people posting. And so I'd say like, well, that's why social contributors is such a big factor. And we look at that over 46.3K, that's per hour, on average. And so like when we look at that, that's like unique users posting, and that has gone up like 20x also.
Wow.
So these global metrics are really important to note. And I'd say, especially if you look at those relative to maybe say Bitcoin, especially because Bitcoin moves on these big global kind of narratives, and global social volume is a global narrative. And so it's saying that like, there's more and more people from everywhere talking about crypto, and that matters a lot. So moving down.
Actually, can I make a quick comment about this? I love scroll down a little bit more, to show how accurate this is and how much I love this. We all know what's happening with SHIB in the market now, and look at the top 10 coins. SHIB, Australian Safe Shepherd. I mean, some of these coins I don't even know. Floki, Bone SHIB Swap, Akita.
Got a lot of memes going on today.
Yep.
Feed every gorilla. That's just, oh my God. But the point is, it's an amazing reflection of the market. A lot, like out of the top 10, you have 6 that are memes.
Shocking.
So it's
yeah.
Feed every gorilla. That's the one. I gotta just the name. I just gotta go check that one out.
And this is really, I'm so glad we're having this space right at this moment in time, because it's funny. You see all over Twitter, some of your bigger accounts, they basically are like, yeah, no, I'm not getting into SHIB. I'm not getting into AS or Floki. They say these things, and their opinions matter to themselves. They matter to a small circle, but they matter very little relative to the whole crowd. And so if you look at it, like how many of your friends have said, oh, I'm not buying Bitcoin? Again, that's their opinion. But if you look at the crowd's telling you probably should have bought Bitcoin a few years ago. And so it's the same exact thing. In all of these, in every one of these, we've seen social activity go up. It doesn't mean you like it. It could mean you hate it. But facts are facts and data is data. And AltRank, again, is looking at social activity and market performance combined together. It's not just looking at who has the best price or the biggest market cap. It's looking at all of this together. And if I had to say, if there's one thing we get asked all the time, what's the one thing I should look at? It's exactly this, because it's keeping you up to speed on the culture of what's going on and people that are putting their money where their mouth is and buying. And so you look at that together, you have a top 10 AltRank list, and we allow users to share that out and share what's going on in the world right now. And they can hit tweet and it loads up an entire predefined tweet with all of that information. And these are these are really long, so it has to be cut just a tad. But there's also a unique link that that individual gets that rewards them for their efforts with more points. So and that helps them earn Lunar, which is the token that's on the site.
That's pretty cool.
We've got recently added. We also track the top influencers as an example here. Cointelegraph, Bitcoin, David Gokhshtein, CoinDesk, Lark Davis. Like why are they all in there? And this is all real time calculated. They're in there because they have the most engagement, the most activity, and the highest relative following right now. So we actually keep track of not just the mentions, not just the engagements on a coin, but who is behind it all. And so when you look at some of these accounts, you start to go like, and we do it per coin. And so you could also say like, well, I'm into Dogecoin and I want to follow the top Dogecoin influencers. And it just so happens that the people that are the top Dogecoin influencers tend to be the most vested and active in the space and have a pulse on what's going on. You could say that about any coin. I could take Solana and take the top Solana influencers and start following those individuals. So at a minimum, it tells you who to follow. As we build some of these tools out, we're going to help people with their content. We're going to help people understand where they sit relative to everyone on the coins they care about. And again, that goes into like more of the personalization side of things, because influencers are users as well. We have different types of users, and influencers want to do better. They want to support the projects that they're behind, and we can help them do that because we have all the data to help them do that. So that's another element of the platform. Just to show you the market section here, we can see that there's a whole bunch of different categories in here and metrics, and you can filter this table by all the metrics you want to show. So I could choose to show all of them if I wanted to and just check them all. I could filter them by category. I could say like, I want to just see the Chili's ecosystem or the Terra ecosystem or Tezos, and I can also say I just want the top 100 million or more in volume, or the top 500 coins, and it filters the whole table for you. Can also like filter by column, and you can share that column as well. Could also share any coin individually. If I go into, let's go into Shiba, since that's the #1 today. And this week, dang.
Ship to $1, baby. Ship to $1.
Crazy. But let's go back. Let's look at the last 3 months of SHIB. And I think my computer is sounding like it's going to blow up. There we go. So we're talking about it's up quite a bit over the last little while, and I can see that.
So what is this that we're looking at? It's like social dominance, right? In that chart above.
There we go. It's finally letting. Yeah. So social dominance is its relative share of the entire pool of social activity across all of crypto. So we see that it's gone its share. If I just look at like the last little while here, you're talking about 1% up to 18.919% of all social posts across crypto relate to Shiba right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's super crazy. And like during that period of time, I mean the blue line's price pretty close, right? So if you would have started to pay attention right around here, even here, like what's going on? And wait, it might have fallen, but wait, what is this? This is the highest it's ever been. Something's happening. And then you start to see it really follow price. So very correlated as well. And that's just one metric. I could say like, if you look at social volume as well, which is coming up here, there's social volume. And then I could tell you the top post there, the alt ranks #1, and we've got a 72.5 Galaxy score, which is very strong still. Here's the top people talking about it. Funny, I mentioned David Gokhshtein again. He knows what he's doing. He knows that when he starts talking about the coins that are popular, it's going to get the most engagement. It's going to bring him new followers that he probably doesn't already have. It's a very successful social strategy. Again, sentiment and whether you love or hate or whatever any of these influencers doesn't matter. It's more like they're flowing with what the market is culturally saying is relevant. So I think that's pretty interesting. And so those are the top people, top exchanges.
Just on a side note, do influencers use your site to find what to talk about? Like, are they using the alt score to say like, okay, today I want to make content on this because it's getting the most engagement right now? Like if I was just a general crypto influencer, I should be coming and saying, okay, well, Shiba and every other single doggy meme coin is what I should be making because it's just going to get the most influence. Or is it? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, all of these know it. And in fact, like I'd say what's really interesting is like, the whole concept of a meme coin is built upon community mattering more than everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it like this is all just random timing, but I am not filtering by meme coins today. And Safe Moon Inu, my head's exploding. Like there's like Secret is not a meme coin, I don't believe here, but the 9 of the top 10, it blows my mind. I don't think I've seen that. So all of these are based upon, I mean, some of us could say there's spam. Others could say that there's value in some of those posts. There's community building in some of those posts. And some of that is the biggest deal of all. And that is that it's not crypto people speaking in an echo chamber to themselves. So, I'd say that a lot of these kinds of projects, I have friends that are barely into crypto that are like, dude, I just bought Shiba yesterday. Was that a good idea? That have never bought Bitcoin. And so it's exposing fun into the game. This was Mark Cuban's argument on Twitter Spaces a week ago. It's important. It's important that crypto branches out beyond just talking to the same people and talking about what camp you're in. And I think this is a really interesting thing. Again, it's not about loving or hating any of these projects. There's just a point to it, and that's that community matters.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question here. I want some alpha leaks from me and the audience.
Some alpha leaks. So you want alpha leaks in terms of what? Let me ask.
In terms of what are some good leading indicators?
So I would look at social volume, and I would look at social engagement, and I would look at it now. And I would look at it very often. And I say that because it's one thing to say like, okay, so Cardano, okay, it has 40.81 thousand. So let's go to Cardano. If I go to Cardano's page, and I start to see that like there is, let me close some tabs here. So if I go to Cardano's page and I start to see that like, hey, like, social volume's up 73% over the last, little while here, but like how exactly, what is the makeup of that activity? Is there a lot of engagement going on? And I can see, yep, it's also up 83.7%. I can see social dominance is also up 17.6%. I would look at like, what are just the most mentions, kind of start there and then kind of go deeper, because it's one thing to say like, yes, a lot of people talk about a project, but like how much activity is there? Who is talking about it? Are these, is it a bunch of spam accounts or is it legitimate? So I would just say, again, come back all the time, paint that picture, understand, and then start to see like, wow, you know what, like that social activity it appears to be leading the price on a lot of these things. So start with social volume for sure.
Man, I'm going to be out of a job soon. Everyone watching now, you guys are going to be evaluating coins like the pros. This is literally what, Sam and I are getting paid to do. And the secret sauce is out. The secret sauce is out. Let me just say it that way. So Lunar Crush is kicking some butt.
Appreciate that. And I apologize for the job loss.
So what we showing us with Avalanche. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between your regular scores and the Galaxy score? Like, okay, we talked about social volume, we talked about alt rank, What's Galaxy Score? That sounds pretty cool.
So Galaxy Score is looking at just Avalanche, and it's saying, so over this period of time, where is it right now relative to where it's been from both the social and market perspective? So it's saying, like, just looking at that, is it really strong right now or not? Alt rank, is it strong relative to the entire market or not? And so I think those are really, really important metrics to look at, because we have a lot of people, we have an API and we have people trading off of that data. And like, in fact, we even have people trading off of spam volume, because we collect spam and our system catches spam. Believe it or not, spam volume, we've had a pretty detailed analysis done on it. Spam volume outperforms the market. Because you have to say, like, why is there so much spam? What are they trying to do? People don't spam for fun, they spam with purpose. And so there's a lot of abstract metrics. And I think this goes back to the very start of Lunar Crush. I mean, like, when you go back and you're like, well, wait, there's what are you looking at? What are the metrics that someone should be looking at in crypto? And we started by saying, without community, there is no crypto. Because truly, if no one's talking about it, no one cares about it. Just so happens people talk about what their investments are. They talk about what they're passionate about all the time. It just so happens that like 80-something% of that happens on Twitter versus every other social network, other than looking at, like, say, private networks like Discord and Telegram. But I mean, I think if you look at that and go like, okay, so, there's so many people that are really like talking about, say, like Avalanche, and you start to see that, at a minimum, it needs to be on your radar. It doesn't mean buy, sell. It means be on your radar. It's like, FYI, pay attention, dude. Like, something's happening here. And whether you buy or sell, that's not even a call that we can make, because I could tell you, like, great, Avalanche is up 371.9% in the past 3 months here. Great, but maybe personally, you can't be in every single play, right? So personally, maybe it didn't make sense for me. Maybe I had something else going on. Maybe personally, my investment strategy was already taken care of, and I just watched this, right? So I think that there's a lot of different factors in buy sell, but you should certainly pay attention to things that are growing their community.
Very cool. What do you think, Sam?
I think it's amazing. I think there's so much information here to dig into. I guess you'd have to. It makes sense to really pair this with the kind of overall views of the market, right? So you start from like the broad context of like, I think DeFi is going to be big. I think L1s are going to do really well. I mean NFTs right now. You kind of like section the market off, and then once you have that, then you can use Lunar Crush to say, okay, like, what's getting the most interest as a L1 right now, or like, what are the best NFT platforms that I can invest into, or what's the best privacy coins right now, like with Secret, right? So I think there's so much that you can use, but it's more of like a tool that kind of helps you guide once you have your broader market opinion.
Yeah.
Or is that only half the answer, where if there's new trends that I'm missing out on, this is the place to come and find them?
So like, I think it's interesting. It's a great question, because I think there's this narrative of, people come in to buy Bitcoin and then they may discover other things, or they just stay in Bitcoin, or maybe in the future, more and more, maybe people are going to come in through DeFi or through NFTs. But again, today, they may be coming. Let's go back to the alt rank metric here. They may be coming in through a meme token on an exchange, right? So yeah. Like the narrative shifts, the narrative changes, and I think this is a really great way to discover, well, what's actually going on. Mm-hmm. And so I think it could be that we have investors that are just getting started, and we have people that have been here since 2010, like in crypto. So it really is about that personalization and catering to what they care about most.
Right.
And giving them opportunity to investigate.
Yeah, there might be people who are like, literally have never heard of Solana, and they literally just go onto our site and search Solana and say like, okay, I want to know more about this coin, and just kind of like, in different coins we have about sections. Like, you could just be using it as a preliminary research, Or if you're, a long-term investor, a long-term trader, you're slaving over those charts to try to get more information about what your next move should be. So it really does come down to what is your goal and what are you looking to do?
Yeah. What about from a information perspective? So look, guys, while we were talking, I was on my app. I bought some Lunar. Okay. I pretended I was a new customer. Sorry. Okcoin. Go to market people, yell at me later. I got my $53 in Lunar, right? I'm set. How do I use that? How do I deploy that onto the platform in terms of other different tiers of information that I get? Do I have different rights? What do I do with the token?
Absolutely. So I think that brings up a really good point with everything that we were just talking about, especially surrounding Galaxy Score and alt rank, which if you looked at, those are two extremely important metrics when you're determining the overall health of a coin, how it's doing compared to all the other coins in the market. And so now with this new relaunch that we've done of our system, we're actually providing that data to the users that are the most engaging with our platform. And so when John was first going through, he said that there was like different onboarding tasks and things you could do to get points. You kept hearing about all these points that you were getting, and if you share, you get points. So what's actually happening there is that if you look at the top on the little status widget, you'll see, okay, he's earned so many points today. And so daily we are giving away points to different users for their interactions. And then once per day that those points actually get converted into our token Lunar that the users then can claim. And so once the users have enough Lunar to be able to claim for their first time, and for a first time user, it's 35 Lunar that they need to have available to claim to process that. What will happen there is that they're able to actually now have Lunar in their balance, but they're also now upgraded to level 2. And so if you saw, I think John was on here in the levels section, there's a point on the platform that'll show you what each of these different levels provide to you. But for us, if even if you purchase it on Okcoin, you transfer it in, and you have that 30 Lunar now available on your Lunar Crush wallet, you are now able to access additional metrics around Galaxy Score and alt rank. And you're actually able, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because wow, my mind is blown. So if I buy 30, I get 50. That's 80 total.
Yeah.
I'm 20 away from 100, which is level 3. And what's the difference between 0, which is starting fresh, which is what most people are doing, and then you have to share and do all these things, right? Versus leapfrogging and jumping to level 3 right away. What do I get in level 3? Essentially with the Okcoin promotion that I wouldn't be able to get if I just joined as a regular user.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like that is an incredible opportunity to be able to skip over that painstaking work of having to actually, if you don't want to be sharing all the time or referral links, all that stuff, then you do have the opportunity to send Lunar in, and the Okcoin opportunity is really a great way to get ahead of that. And so if you're just starting out, like we were saying, you don't have access to Galaxy Score details, alt rank details, where you are getting that really in-depth Lunar Crush data that we're providing for you, as well as on top of that, there is different time intervals that we provide. And that's a really important one because, if you're just a new user signing up, we are giving up to 6 months of data that we have collected available to our users. But if you want to see, okay, well, how's this coin been doing over the past year, maybe the past 2 years, that is something that if you're level 2, you'll be able to see up to a year, and level 3, you'll provide up to 2 years. Additionally, we also, for increasing your levels, provide a different points multiplier, which is something we were looking in under the rewards section here, where if you actually upgrade your level, you are now increasing actually how many points that you're earning normally convert into like the points that you receive at the end of the day. And so if you share to, or say you connected your Twitter and you got 25 points for that, but you actually have a multiplier on there, that multiplier can increase that number of how that one action actually means and impacts. And so we provide extra multipliers for users that who have increased their level and gotten to level 2, and then eventually that multiplier also increases at level 3.
Wait, so I have one more question. I know I've been monopolizing time, and not financial advice here, but I go and buy $30 worth. I get matched essentially to this level of level 3, which skyrockets my multiplier and allows me to see data for essentially 2 years back. So for $30, maybe a little bit more, I can see data for 2 years back, get an enhanced multiplier. And by the way, when, for all the traders out there, just like when you look at, if you're, let's say, a TA trader and you're looking at TA, you definitely want to see a snapshot in time of someone's alt score or galaxy score or the social sentiment is only so meaningful. You want to put it in context, right? So when we look at tokens to list, we want to see how they've evolved over time. If it's a new token, of course, it will have less of history. When we're looking at old tokens to see if, hey, they reached their peaks, let's say 2017 and 2018 in the former bull run, they've dropped. Maybe there's a DeFi summer that we had in 2020. They drop. Maybe they're going to increase. You want to understand the context. So for me, looking backwards and looking at the trend is so important. That's essentially how the pros do it. So the noobs will go out and look at one score and judge it off of that. The pros look at everything in context. So again, you can go on the website, go on lunarcrush.com, earn your way there, which is absolutely fine. Or you can shortcut the line if you'd like through the promotion that's going on right now. But I think it's just so important to know that all of these tools are, they're very useful as they are, and fully useful when you look at the context and longevity of the data.
Alex, there's a couple pieces I want to touch on with what you said too. So like you mentioned the pros. I think there's a lot of people that would love to tell you what's going higher. No one wants to talk about, when the market's down. Well, now what do I do? It's in crypto. It's almost because of the part of the growth cycle in crypto that we are right now. It's kind of easy to make money. It's really hard to keep that money. And I know a lot of people that trade their way to nothing and then owe taxes and all that fun stuff. But like, if you look at something like an alt rank on a really bad day, on a really down day, and you start to see that, wait a second, why does Tether have the #1 alt rank? Wait, why is it UST from Terra? Why is UST #2? What's going on? Why are there 3 stable coins in the top 10 alt rank? Well, that's because they're outperforming Bitcoin and all the other coins from a market perspective because they're stable. But that wouldn't rank them. It's because everyone's talking about them. And so if you look at things either from a manual or even a automated programmatic perspective through automated trading, if you look at it from either of those perspectives, like our metrics beat the downside of the market and tell you when you need to be in stable coins and when you shouldn't be. And I think that's a really, really important thing. The other thing, so that's one point. The other thing that I would hit on is that we also have a weekly bonus for the most active users. And those weekly bonuses also, so we give out, there's 65,000 given out a day, and there's 50,000 a week bonus to the top 10% of all active users. And we'll be posting details on that shortly, but that increases depending on the level that you're in. So if you're a level 3 user, your allocation of the weekly bonus goes up. I'll add to that. You might notice I've got 2,246 points. I have 0.008% of total points across all users today.
Wow.
And so it's getting harder and harder to earn, and our user base is growing exponentially. We've grown almost 10x in a week. So of users all over the world. And it continues to grow like crazy. Our biggest challenge, especially I'm sure some of them are watching, some of these individuals, our biggest challenge has been scaling to meet that growth. And so we've been spending a lot of time optimizing scaling, doing it again. And it's like 100 things. And it's been an insane journey the last week here, but I would just stress that earning is going to get tougher. And we will be adding more actions to earn more points. But as more users show up, it gets harder and harder to earn. But I'd add, with, if someone made one Lunar in a day, as of right now, it's like what, 12, 13 bucks. I don't know of any other free platform that pays you $12 to $13 in a day that, like, literally you keep it. You keep that money. And it still pays you. So if someone's like, well, I'm never getting to 35. Well, I would say if you're making one a day, right now, you're still earning a lot. And in most parts of the world, that's a good hefty reward right there for the time being. But again, that's going to get harder and harder to earn over time.
Hey, so John, I wanted to come back to what you're talking about, like the bottom signals. Does that like, is the flip side of that also for top signals as well too? Like, is that we're seeing all this Shiba and doggy coins today, since everybody's talking about it, is this could this be the top, right? Could I use this as a top signal to say, okay, like we're at peak saturation of doggy coins, I should go borrow some in the market?
Peak doggy coin saturation.
You wouldn't be the first person to say that, because you go on Twitter right now, there's lots of people saying, where can I short these? There's lots of people posting. I've seen 30 or 40 posts on that today. So I wouldn't be as absolute as saying it's over, right? It's going to fall to nothing. But I would watch its change. I would watch, hey, did Shiba fall from alt rank 1 to 200? What's going on? I would keep my eye on that, on something that's moved so much so fast. I can absolutely say, well, it's not the bottom, right? It's not the bottom. It's nowhere near the bottom. If Shiba has a #1 alt rank, it's up there. It's maxing social activity and it's maxing market activity. When that stops, you'll see the alt rank shift, and you'll see it consistently shift. May change for an hour or two, but if you start to see it constantly not ranking that well, something's changed.
And kind of on the second point, you're talking about how there's like a bonus for the top 10%, right, of 60,000. So like what's kind of the metrics? Like, what do I need to do to get in that top 10% right now? Like, how many points do I need to earn? And like, how many invites do I need to get?
Ellie, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, so it's definitely looked over a few different things. And so I wouldn't say that one specific day you'll be guaranteed to get into the top 10%. And to keep in mind here, it's we have 50,000 allocated specifically for top 10% of users that are the most actively engaged. And so those are the ones who are doing the actions on our site, the onboarding tasks, etc. But they're also the people that are using the site daily as it's intended to be using. Lunar Crush has been around for a long time, where people have been going on, looking at different metrics, sharing to Twitter previously, but now we're actually just offering a mechanism to reward you for that. So the people that are sharing to Twitter or sharing to their friends and saying like, hey, did you check out this coin? The alt rank is skyrocketing, whatever it may be, and they're having their friends engage, click on it. Those are the ones that are going to increase their points value. So it really is going to be dependent on how many interactions that you're able to get, as well as how many genuine points you're able to earn just being on the system. Like, we do even have multipliers that impact based on if you're using the system every single day, we're going to reward you for that. If you're being a genuine user every single day, we're going to give you extra points in your multiplier for that. And then I would really just say, like, look at the percentage, in the total pool of the points that you're getting. Like, it still is, thinking about how many other users there are per day. At this point, you can't say it's like, okay, if you get 10,000 points in a week, you're going to be the top user. But if we encourage to continue to utilize the platform in sharing, in earning points through connecting Twitter, or to adding your alerts, even you can earn points that way as well.
Yeah, I just saw that you ticked down from like 0.008 to 0.00799 just in that point. So just there's a bunch of other people out there earning points while we're having this conversation.
And you can see the things that this account has done today, where I get a point just for showing up, and we got 150 points for friend referrals, meaning we get 5 each. So meaning we sent 30 people here today.
Oh, wow.
With this account. We done 12 shares, and it stops at 149 link points for link clicks. There are some max thresholds. We don't let someone get 1 million link clicks and they can game the system that way. We have a lot of safeguards in place. But the big thing here is, like, as I do this, the max I can earn on a normal day is 320 points, and 420 the first day, but 320 days after. But the big deal here is, do you come back every day? And that gives you this usage streak. If you stop coming back, it resets to 1. If I come for over 30 days, it gives me a 3x. My referrals, did I get to a certain threshold of referrals that puts me in the highest tier over a monthly period? My link share clicks, have they amounted to so much that I get 2x or 3x? And then we multiply all of those, and those multiply by your points that you earned that day. And so in 4 hours, 7 minutes, and 12 seconds, all of these points will calculate relative to all users of the platform, and I will be issued Lunar as a reward for those points that day. And then it memorializes it. If I scroll to the bottom here, it memorializes every day what you earned, and starts over from 0 again the next day. And so over time, my multipliers could fall off if I stop referring people, if I stop getting clicks, if I stop coming back to the app, it resets back down to 1. And but every day I'm starting at 0 again, and in 4 hours, 6 minutes, it will start at 0 again, and I will be issued Lunar to claim. And then those go into my wallet, and I can do all sorts of fun stuff with it in the future. There's a lot more things. If I sell those Lunar, I lose my level and I downgrade. I also lose access to weekly bonuses. And there's a whole host of features we'll be adding in the future. It's like super, super early. Again, it hasn't even been a week. We're just getting this rolling, and we're sort of in this like get started in distribution phase. And we have a whole roadmap of things that we're going to be doing. Different asset types we're going to track, all sorts of different features we're going to build, different options to participate for users, partnerships, all sorts of things. So pretty exciting future ahead.
It's pretty cool. Wait, so what did you say the maximum points that you can earn? It was like 320 points a day?
So
with a 9x multiplier.
3x with up to a 27x multiplier.
Oh, wow. Oh, so it's like 3 times 3 times 3 times 3?
3 times 3 times 3. Yes.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Yep. So
wow.
Which means so this also incentivizes long-term use of the platform and loyalty. And that's kind of like an undertone of everything we're going to build. Because if you think about, like, user shows up and they just earn some points, they cash out, they dump, goodbye, right? We don't want that. And if a user gets to a point of like, great, they earned 3 Lunar, well, they can't even claim. They can't even claim the Lunar into their wallet. They have to keep going. And so the thing is, like, we're after building long-term users of the app and rewarding the behavior of really going back to what we talked about earlier, which is like, come frequently, come often, paint a picture of the assets that you care about, educate yourself in crypto. Don't just show up once and say like, great, I got it. And I think that's really, we're kind of modeling the point system around that behavior.
Awesome. Well, that's probably a great place to wrap up on. Alex, did you have any more questions?
No, I'm just I'm busy taking notes, guys. I'm literally like I hope my bosses are listening, because I'm about to become really good at my job after this interview. And so I got the pen, I got my legal pad. I know what to do with alt ranks and galaxy scores and how to level up to level 3. So I'm pretty set to go. You know, hopefully our COO is listening and he's taking notes that I'm taking notes.
Love it.
And I have the link that I'm ready to click to go get the 30 Lunar from Okcoin.
That's right. Come to us, guy. Get 30. Get buy 30, get 50. I mean, this is easy.
That's amazing. Love it.
Wait, Ellie, John, are you guys on Twitter? Do you have any social? Like, where can people find you?
Well, yeah, I'd say to start, you first, Ellie. Go for it.
No, just gonna say, my Twitter is my first name, last name. Just no _ dot or anything like that. But yeah, definitely active in the Lunar Crush like replies and things too. So definitely follow our Lunar Crush Twitter if you have not already. That's a big one where we're posting, as well as since the launch of this whole token and everything we're doing, we also have launched a Lunar token Twitter. So you can follow there for more specific information about all the work that we're doing there.
Awesome, guys.
John,
I'm John Farjo on Twitter, JONFARJO, and you can follow us at Lunar Crush and at Lunar Token, LUNR TOKEN. We post insights all day long and have a lot of fun.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. Sam, a pleasure as always. We're so excited to have you guys on Okcoin and to support your journey. And again, you know, all jokes aside, I do use you guys every day. My whole team uses you every day. I think everyone that I know on other exchanges uses you every day. So guys, if you know, don't be noobs, be pros, and go use Lunar Crush.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, well, we'll wrap things up, and we will see everybody next time for the next episode of Okcoin Live. Thank you for joining. I'm Sam McCullough, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Alex, Ellie, John. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure, and we will see you again soon. You're welcome back anytime.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.